Disgaea 1 has to be one of the most successful Disgaea games just because it was ported quite a bit. It started out on the PS2, then got ported to the PSP, then the DS, then next to Steam, and then we have the Switch and PS4 versions, and then finally mobile devices oddly enough. So of course in this video I will be talking about all the ports in comparison to the PS2 version and the changes that they each have. And of course we start off with the PSP port since that was the first port of the game. This version doesn't have too many drastic changes, but it still has quite a few, and one of them definitely has to be the fact that you can actually battle against the protagonists from Disgaea 2, that being Adele and Rosalind. You can also end up fighting Zeta from the Makai Kingdom series as well. Then there's also the multiplayer support where you can actually sell items and also fight against other players, and frankly I kinda wish this was in later games because multiplayer Disgaea sounds really cool. And if anyone has played this version, let me know how it went because again I genuinely wanna know. And then another change has to be Edna's voice actor because in the original PS2 release, it was Amanda Wynn Lee, while this version and beyond, it was Michelle Ruff. And this change I never knew since I started with Disgaea 2, so I assumed that Michelle Ruff was always a voice actor, but now I know that at least she has a different voice actor in the original PS2 release. And some other changes with this version has to be that there's a record keeper, it has a music shop, you can turn off animations, and it also has better graphics and audio. There were also some songs that were removed, and I will put them on the screen so you can see exactly what was removed. Also note that the music removals was applied to every other part of the game, so keep that in mind. And finally, you can actually buy songs in-game, and this allows you to change what plays in the background in the item world, and frankly this is kind of nice just because now you don't have to listen to the same song on repeat. And that was most if not all of the big changes in the PSP release, so now obviously we should move on to the DS version. This port does have all the content from the PSP version along with having some if not most of the changes there as well. You can also get Pianero as a playable character, the game has touchscreen controllers, and a neat little side thing that's only in this version is where a printer can commentate on what's happening at all times, which is kind of cool and kind of like a smaller thing that I can see being somewhat enjoyable, but you know, it's just weird how it was never in any other version. Then you can also get some post-game content depending on what ending you get. This port also does have some downgrades, and that's only because the fact that the DS is way less powerful than the PSP and the PS2. And to start off, this one doesn't have any voice acting other than the very first opening cutscene and traditional scenes to the next chapter. The OST is of much lesser quality, and there isn't any vocals and lyrics in the ending songs. The graphics are also of much lesser resolution, and the skills have a much lesser visual quality. And also the special attacks can cause screen to fully black out, but still show the user and the enemies being affected. And now we move on to Disgaea 1 Complete, which was on the Switch and the PS4. And if you're wondering, the Steam port is more or less the same as the PSP version other than not having multiplayer, and it also has some of the content from the DS port, but still of course being better than the quality of that because you can play on a PC, which is a lot more powerful than a DS. And with Disgaea 1 Complete, the game is now in HD and a lot of the textures and sprites again will update for that. Along with that, the menus and the title screen have a more modern look. The game also did end up using a lot of assets from Disgaea 4, D2, and 5, and the classes also do reflect that since it uses their designs from there. But don't worry, all that really changes is the names and the designs because again the designs are pulled from later games. And now I will go over what classes were changed. Male Thief gets replaced by Female Thief, Winged gets replaced by Imp, Trenant gets replaced by Shroom, Shadow gets replaced by Reaper, Beast gets replaced by Zombie Dragon, and Galactic Demon gets replaced by Rifle Demon. And now we also have a change from Prism Red where now he has better stats and aptitudes. He also has a different unlock condition where you have to be on a second cycle and then pass a new build in the assembly to unlock him. And there are some new unlockable characters, that being Prism Blue, Yellow, and Saki, and they have the same exact way to get them in your party as Prism Red. Then there's some really nice quality of life changes like you being able to skip skill animations and events, having an extra camera zoom for battles, and also if an opponent is getting attacked by two or more characters, and say if one of the characters finishes off before the other characters take their action, they can still move, which is a godsend since in the original it wasn't like that and you basically could waste a turn if more than one character attacks it. Another feature that can make the game a bit faster is when you quit a battle, you go back to the castle before the fight you just quit out of, because before you would just go back to the title screen. The game also has a autosave feature, and the Kyoto's demon ranks in the Dark Assembly can no longer be reset via transmigration. The final change to the complete edition has to be that the maximum level of the citation innocent has been brought up to 900. And now finally we move on to the mobile airports. And the first change has to be that Etna mode is unlocked without having to enter codes. This version also has a auto battle feature where it allows you to select any amount of Kyotos and they all automatically deploy on the battlefield. There's also a repeat battle feature where after you finish a map, you can just restart it instantly. The game also has a speed up feature, and this ranges from ×1 speed to ×8 speed, and it's only for battle. There's also a quick menu feature for the hub area, and it is unlocked after finishing the first chapter in either the main story or Etna mode. You can also have a single cloud save, and you can transfer the save to any other device. Finally, there is a cheat shop for the Dark Assembly, and this allows the player to modify different parts of the game. You can raise the EXP game, enemy level, and many others. And that's all the different versions for Disgaea 1, and frankly, the Switch and the PS4 version seems the best option. You can still have fun with whatever version of course, because I am playing the Steam port and I still kind of enjoy it. And honestly, I want to know what version you guys played first. Again, for me, it was the Steam port since at the time I got it, the complete edition wasn't out yet, so I kind of don't want to have to spend more money on a different version. But thank you all for watching and see you guys later.